What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Love Shack, and today bringing you guys an updated Unchained deck profile. So this is the first deck profile I'm doing sort of after the new ban list, which goes into effect April 1st, so that's 2 days as of the day I'm filming this. People had asked me to do some updated versions of some of the other deck profiles. I'm really trying with Thunder Dragon. I don't think I'm going to get anything to work right now. I'm not having success. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board on that one. I also have a few other deck profiles I'm working on that may be done. Like I may do Dev Pro variants of them or Yu-Gi-Oh Pro, whatever. Because I don't have all the cards, and it's tough to get some of that stuff right now with the ongoing, people aren't able to leave their house kind of thing. So I do want to be able to bring more content, but at the same time, I do prefer to do these actual deck profiles. So we'll see where that goes. But I'll jump into this here. In the meantime. Triple Unchained Twins, Rakia, and Aruha. This didn't change. These are obviously the best cards in the deck. Aruha I just really like because he's an extender that triggers from your hand and can pop stuff. So overall, he's, you want to see him in your opening hand because he makes your plays go off. But he obviously, like I said in the last version of this deck too, Sarama being the other two of, this is kind of what makes the whole thing work. The fact that you can... If you open with this, preferably this and any Unchained trap or spell that you can pop, you have a really solid board going first, and the traps kind of support it, so I really like that sort of package there, if you will. One difference is I'm playing triple Abominable Unchained Soul instead of 2 now, and 2 Disaster. I still can't play 1. If you get called by the grave, you're completely screwed there with that guy. This is just such a good hand trap, and obviously you can trigger it off your own effects, and there's some really good synergy with just the majority of your deck, but also allowing you to kind of counter your opponent's plays, and those disruptions are kind of key in this deck because it can be a little bit reactive. So I bumped it up, and I'm really happy with that 2 to 3 ratio there. Unchained Soul Disaster, if it was just a little bit less bricky, you'd probably just play 3, but... And then for the 2 tour guide, I was hoping we'd get this back to 3 with the list, but it didn't happen. And obviously I understand why. I'm just saying kind of salty. 1 Scarm, I cut that down. I just wanted to have an additional target that does allow me to sort of search and get some recourse if needed. You'll see I made some changes to the extra deck as well, so I'm not playing Cherubini anymore. Being a fairy, it does just kind of lock you out of those. And then 1 of each spirit. These are so good, and I talked about them at length in the last version of the deck, but it's just that they're so recyclable, you really don't need to play more than 1 of each. And moving on to the spells, I cut Allure of Darkness entirely. So, because someone had talked about how it can be kind of screwy to have to banish your cards, and I kind of agree with it, so I did end up cutting it. So, moving on to the spells, we've got triple Abomination's Prison. Searches anything you need, while also being something you can pop to special from deck, so it's an extender. Just a really good card in general. I really wish that it was considered an Unchained card, but I get why it's not. The 1 Wailing, I almost never use its first effect, but just having another target to pop with a different name is really good. And then you have 1 Mind Control and 1 Instant Fusion. I'm actually a little bit more apt to playing this now that it's at 1 because it's just sort of a decent extender that I don't have to worry about bricking extra copies of. So 1 and 1, Mind Control is really good in this deck. You just take an opponent's monster, you can pop it with Aruha, and Instant Fusion I'll talk about a little bit more in depth when we get to the extra deck. As for the traps, so it's very trap heavy still. Triple Torrential Tribute, double Compulse to start us off there. I wasn't playing this in the last version of the build. I think this card gets a lot better in MR5, and I think it does sort of combo with this deck in a decent way too, being able to bounce, your Unchained Soul back to hand to use it again, or, Aruha to use this effect again, but also just really being able to sort of stop your opponent's play. So it's a useful tool overall. And then triple Impermanence. This is just a nutty card, and it's obviously really good to have in any deck that wants to go second. But this deck can realistically go first or second, so it's pretty solid either way. And then I've got triple Crackdown. Can't say enough good things about it. Really like the card. Triple Abominable Chamber, the Unchained. This is the one that specials. And 2 Escape. So I did cut Escape down. It can brick a little, and again, is sort of recyclable with Aruha. So I think 2 is better. I wanted to be exactly at 40, and that's how we got there. So that's the main deck. Updated main deck, if you will. Guess I'll do the extra deck here now. And so, yeah, one of these sleeves doesn't match. That's on me. All right, so for the extra deck, pretty standard, and I actually did kind of adapt a few other ideas from a few other profiles I've watched. I always like to sort of research profiles and test them myself before I put my own builds together. So 2 Unchained Soul of Rage, 2 Unchained Soul of Anguish, and 1 Abomination. That's your standard kind of Unchained package. These guys can be revived. This card is really good at like extending plays and really kind of putting pressure on the opponent, but it's also very much a glass cannon. So like it can get over stuff, but then it just kind of sits there, and we don't like that. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, that's a new card I added that I wasn't playing before. Obviously to go along with the Unicorn, that extra spell and trap disruption comes in handy more often than I had thought. So I am playing 1 Thousand-Eyes Restrict and 1 Relinquished Anima. Now, I wish these were Fiends, and this is the one part where being locked into Fiends can kind of be tough. However, being able to make this Thousand-Eyes Restrict and then take an opponent's monster, pop the monster that you take with Aruha to special it from hand or to trigger one of your other cards is a really good combo. And then if you're going second and you're playing against a board that's pretty tough setup, you can link that away and take another monster. So it does give you sort of a lot of removal for one card, that being Instant Fusion, and it does act as an extender as well. You just sort of have to go with it before you lock yourself into Fiends for the rest of the turn. And then for the rest of the extra deck, obviously still playing the Trisbana and the Bomber Dragon. I don't go into them often, but they're really good against certain matchups, so it's good to have them. 1 Borload, and then this is the last one I'm playing here. This is a Double Bite Dragon. So some of you may not be familiar with this. This is 2 Link monsters. It's a Link 2. Gains attack equal to the combined Link rating of the monsters used for its summon. It is unaffected by monster effects other than Link effects, and cannot be destroyed by battle except for the Link monsters. So it's pretty much like Abramax, but obviously not. Abramax is light, so we can't go into Abramax in this deck, even with Unchained Soul of Rage. But, especially with Master Rule 5 sort of increasing the amount of non-Link extra deck monsters you're going to see, this is tough for a lot of decks to get over. So if you're playing against something and your opponent makes, I guess Needle Fiber is one I think of, that comes up for, Link away, make this, and then they're sort of in a tough position where this card's going to have some decent firepower, like 2,700, give or take, and then have some immunity. So it's a good card to at least force them to have to play over. And then the 2 XCs are pretty much the same, 1 Dingirsu and 1, my gosh, I just blanked on the name, Break Sword, sorry. So that's the extra deck there. Obviously, always room for improvement. Side deck is still kind of a work in progress because I don't have Lightning Storms, but people ask sometimes, so I'll show you what I'm working with for right now, for the tournaments we're not having. Triple DD Crow, triple Lava Golem, it's a Fiend, so if you do lock yourself into Fiends, you have that out. Triple MST, just useful in general to be able to get over stuff. Triple Called by the Grave, and then a few... just sort of Heavy Storm Duster and Red Reboot. So it's a pretty basic side deck. I kind of use this for a lot of deck profiles just to put something out there, but obviously you may have your own and certainly that works. So, yeah, well, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what other things you want to see. Like I said, I am working to get some new content. I know Secret Slayer's coming out soon. I'm hoping to be able to do an opening of that too. It's just a little tough right now. So everyone stay safe. Obviously prioritize yourself, family, stay home if you can. And definitely check back for more videos because I am working on getting some more content out on a somewhat regular basis. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time right here at LoveShack.